I, 32-year-old female, have two children, Theo, 2-year-old male, and Chloe, 0.8-year-old female, with my husband Todd, 30-year-old male. I dislike neon colors. I absolutely cannot stand them. It's great if other people like it, but there is something about it that bothers me. I refuse to wear neon, and therefore refuse to dress my children in it. Todd knows this and has given me neon items as a joke. Whatever, it's his money that I'm donating to Goodwill or throwing away. I have explicitly told him that I will never love him enough to wear neon for him, which he laughs off, but I'm only half joking. When Theo was born, I wasn't as far along in my career as I would have liked, but I got a promotion, and now that I have the money, I've been going a little overboard in dressing my kids up in cute outfits and taking pictures. Not to post on social media, but for baby books and such. I blame my mom and grandma for this. One day, while we were out as a family, we came across a clothing store, and I saw a cute little dress for my daughter, so we went in to buy it. While there, on the clearance rack, there was a neon green one-piece that caught my husband's eye. He showed it to me and asked if it would fit Theo. I just stared at him and told Todd to look at our son and then look at what he was holding. He accurately determined that it was too small, but then said it looked like it would fit Chloe perfectly. It does look like it would, but I wasn't going to tell him. Todd asked if we could get it, and I quickly and firmly said no. But when he asked why, I simply said that I wasn't going to dress my daughter in that and told him to put it back. That's what triggered the argument of, "She's my daughter too." I just walked away, paid for the clothes I wanted, and went to the car. My husband met us there, and he bought the outfit. I sighed and decided to give in, and Todd felt victorious. Fast forward to the next week, and we're getting ready to go to a family outing. As I'm getting ready, Todd tells me that he would like Chloe to wear the neon green outfit, and I told him, okay. About an hour later, we're at the door, and I ask him where Chloe is. Todd looks confused. Since Todd told me he wanted her to wear the outfit, I assumed he would be the one to dress her in it. But then he reminded me that I was the one who usually dressed the kids. I looked at him and told Todd that if I have to go back and get Chloe ready, I wasn't going to dress her in that outfit, and that he would also have to wash it to make sure it would never go missing. Todd got upset and told me that I was undermining his rights as a father. I told him that he clearly didn't care if our daughter wore that outfit because he was unwilling to dress her himself. This led to an argument, and we didn't go out. Since it wasn't my side of the family, I wasn't too angry, but it has been a few days and Todd is still upset. Am I the idiot? To add, I was away, but now that I'm back and keep seeing the same questions/comments, I'll add some more info. At the store, Todd wanted me to pay for the neon outfit, not us, just me. In the 2 years that we have been parents, Todd has only dressed Theo 5 times. He never dresses Chloe. Todd doesn't like neon and doesn't own anything neon. That wouldn't stop him if he tried. If my kids grow up to like neon, they can wear neon, but they will start doing their own laundry. I do the laundry for the kids, myself, and sometimes Todd. Todd never does anyone else's laundry. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. This seems like a larger issue. Not the idiot for not dressing your daughter in this exact scenario, but giving him the freedom to do it himself. But you two need to do some serious reflecting, not just work on communication, but actually address some of the underlying issues. This reeks of resentment. You're both escalating a non-issue that wouldn't be a problem if you weren't already upset about something else. Comment 2. You should both stop trying to express yourselves through your children. They are individuals. Don't turn them into little dancing monkeys. Now, for the update. A few days passed since the argument over the neon outfit. I went to a family gathering at my in-laws' house for a birthday party. The vibe was really awkward because of the recent fight between Todd and me. It was hard enough to deal with the situation at home, and now I had to see the family, especially Todd's parents. Even if they didn't know the details, I knew they could tell something was off. Todd's parents, Larry and Susan, were excited to see the kids and had a small cake ready. It was nice to see the kids happy, and I tried to focus on that, but every time Todd looked at me, it felt like he was silently challenging me. During the gathering, Todd's sister Emily showed up with her two kids, dressed in bright, colorful outfits. I could tell she was trying to make a point, and the tension was high. Emily made a comment about how cute neon was for kids. I could feel Todd's eyes on me, waiting for my reaction. I just forced a smile and kept quiet, trying to keep the peace for everyone. Todd laughed and said he was going to get Chloe into it too, looking directly at me. At that moment, I felt super frustrated but kept quiet, focusing on the kids. They were all that mattered. Larry asked everyone to gather for a family photo. I thought maybe it would break the ice, so I was willing to go along with it. Todd insisted Chloe wear the neon outfit for the picture. It was a birthday party, and the poor girl didn't need to wear that. I refused, saying it wasn't right for the occasion. Todd rolled his eyes, saying it was just a photo and didn't matter. I could see everyone else was uncomfortable, and I hated being the center of attention like this. Tension rose as Larry chimed in, suggesting they just let it go for the picture's sake. I felt like I was being ganged up on. I stood firm, saying I wouldn't compromise on this. I could tell Todd's irritation was growing, and he argued that it was just clothing. Emily jumped in, trying to mediate, but it only made things worse. It felt like there was no way out of this situation. Finally, Todd snapped, saying I was making a big deal over nothing. At that point, I just wanted to get away from there, so I left the photo area to calm down, feeling overwhelmed. In the kitchen, I overheard Todd venting to his parents about my stubbornness. I just wanted to scream and make him see how ridiculous this all was. Susan approached me, asking if everything was okay between us. I just said we were having a small disagreement. She looked concerned, but I couldn't explain it all to her. The birthday cake was cut, and everyone gathered around to celebrate. Todd brought Chloe over in the neon outfit, smiling proudly. I wanted to throw the cake at him. Larry commented on how cute Chloe looked in neon, furthering Todd's point. I just stayed quiet, trying to keep it together for the kids. I didn't want them to pick up on any of this. As the gathering wound down, Todd suggested they take the kids to a local fair the next day. I hesitated, but agreed, thinking it might ease the situation. At the fair, Todd insisted on dressing Chloe in the neon outfit again. I didn't even want to fight about it, so I reluctantly went along, wanting to avoid another argument. It was exhausting. We bumped into a family friend, Jamie, who pointed out how bold the outfit was. I just nodded, feeling like I was in some alternate universe. Jamie asked if they were planning on going to the annual city festival next week. Todd enthusiastically agreed, saying they should dress in neon for the festival. I wanted to run away screaming. At home after the fair, Todd announced he bought matching neon outfits for all three of them. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The unexpected twist came when Todd revealed he had signed them up to participate in a neon-themed family contest at the festival. I just stared at him, feeling like I was in some kind of bizarre nightmare. Edit. The family contest Todd signed us up for at the festival involves performing a dance routine on stage. The winner gets a family trip to an amusement park. I am not taking the kids to the festival. Todd thinks it will be fun, but I feel like this is a fight he is trying to win. Everyone in the family is expected to participate, and I don't want to ruin the kids' chance at a fun time. I feel stuck and don't know what to do. Am I the idiot for confronting my stepfather about not being one of his real kids? Am I the idiot for confronting my stepdad after he excluded me from the family and called his other kids real? I, 27-year-old female, was at my stepbrother's 29-year-old male wedding a couple of days ago. For some context, my mom, 59-year-old female, and his dad, 57-year-old male, have been together for more than 10 years at this point. My stepbrother even included my mom in the family photos at the wedding and thanked her for looking after his dad in his speech. I could not be happier for her, as this meant a lot to her. However, I was not included in family photos. This hurt me a little, but it was his and his now wife's day, so I'm not going to complain, and I certainly would never bring it up to them or anyone else other than my partner. Especially not to my mom, who was so shocked and happy that she was included. Anyways, this leads on to the matter at hand. My stepdad was talking to the bride's mother later in the night while I was sitting near them, half listening and bopping along to the music. The bride's mom says to him that it's lovely to have my stepbrother in the family and that now she has 4 children instead of 2. Both her daughters are now married. This is when my stepdad turned around and said that he feels the same and he is very proud of his 4 children. My 2 stepbrothers and both their wives. This instantly felt like a dagger to my gut. I should probably add that my mom's previous partner said to my face when I was 7 years old that he never wanted to be a father to me when I asked if I could get him a Father's Day card. Plus, my own father left when I was 2 and was hurtful. For context as to why this hurt me so much, and my mom started questioning if I was okay. I said I was fine and to leave it, but she kept badgering me and then asked me if I had been eavesdropping when I shouldn't have been. I barely nodded when she said she had heard it too and said that it hurt her too, but that he hadn't been thinking. Her comforting me set me off with tears that I had been trying hard to keep in, so I got up and said I was going outside for some air. I went outside and walked a little bit away and had a cry to myself. I even sat on a swing at the small play park nearby and in eyesight of the hotel. When I got myself together, I was walking back when my stepdad called me. I could see him and Mum in front of the hotel. He then called me and I waved and declined the call, but they did not see me. My mum questioned me when I did walk back inside the hotel, asking if I declined the call, to which I replied yes. She then told me that was a stupid thing to do. I tried to explain that I could see them and waved at them, but she said they could not see me. The next morning, my stepdad did apologize and say he messed up, but I'm still a little upset. I've not said anything to my mum about how I'm feeling because I know she will just tell me to move on and let it go. Am I the jerk? Should I have just answered the phone? Was I being petty? Should I just let it go? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot OP. Did you notice how your mom made everything worse? Was it because she knew how bad it has been for you with the men she chose, and that she has never stood up for you and demand they respect and honor you? She showed you that she wasn't going to this time either. She seems to put all the pressure on you to suck it up and smooth things over. You don't have to. Your mother's goals don't have to be yours. You are allowed to feel what you feel and to not make it all better for everyone else. I kind of hate everyone for you. I think you could use some therapy to untangle your childhood and figure out how to deal with your family going forward. Comment 2. You weren't eavesdropping. You were sitting at the same table and they were having a public discussion in front of you. Overhearing is not the same as eavesdropping. Your mom is the AH. She has kept choosing men who are absolute jerks to her child. Your stepdad sucks, and you have nothing to apologize for. So don't. I would absolutely take him at his word. He doesn't view you as family, so I wouldn't treat him as anything other than your mother's husband. He gets 0 privileges as your stepdad. You are worth so much more than either of them have ever given you. Not the idiot. Now for the update. A few months after the wedding, I went to a Thanksgiving dinner at my mom's. My stepdad was there. The atmosphere felt tense but manageable. My younger sister, Lily, brought her new boyfriend, who was charming and everyone liked him. During dinner, my stepdad asked Lily about her future plans, and then everyone started talking about family dynamics. He casually mentioned how proud he was of his real kids, which made me uncomfortable. I looked at my mom, but she didn't seem to react. After dinner, I needed fresh air, so I stepped outside. I overheard my stepdad and mom arguing quietly about who's really part of the family. I went back inside, trying to shake it off, but I noticed my mom giving my stepdad a hard look. We played board games later, and he kept trying to include me, but I felt distant. The next day, I got a text from him apologizing for what he said at dinner. I responded politely, but it felt fake, lacking real accountability. A week later, I went to a Christmas party at my stepdad's sister's house. During a toast, he again referred to his real kids, and I felt a rush of anger. I excused myself to the kitchen. He followed me in, asking if I was upset, and I said I needed space. He insisted he didn't mean anything by it, which made me feel even more isolated. Later that evening, my stepdad's sister talked to me and expressed concern for me. We talked about family roles and the struggles of blending families. She shared her own experiences with feeling like an outsider. I felt some camaraderie, but still felt disconnected from my stepdad. On New Year's Eve, I went to a small gathering at my mom's house. My mom had invited some family friends, and my stepdad was eager to impress everyone. He spoke about his kids as if they were perfect, while I felt invisible. At midnight, I found myself alone in the kitchen, pouring a drink. My mom found me and asked if I was okay, but I deflected. My stepdad joined us, trying to lighten the mood, but only making it worse. I felt a surge of frustration and decided to confront him. I told him how his words made me feel, and he seemed surprised. The conversation escalated, and my mom jumped in, defending him. The family friends watched awkwardly, and the atmosphere soured. He tried to explain himself, but I felt dismissed. By the end of the night, I left feeling unresolved and hurt. A few days later, my mom called to discuss the argument, but she put my stepdad on the line too. I felt it was unfair to have the conversation in front of him. I hung up, frustrated, and decided to spend more time away from family events. At a later family barbecue, tensions still lingered, but I tried to keep my distance. I noticed my mom and stepdad were planning a trip together, which I wasn't invited to. I found out about the trip through a social media post from my mom. Edit. My mom later explained the trip was for couples only. She was understanding about my feelings, but didn't want to exclude her husband. Am I the idiot for telling my stepdaughter to follow the rules or get out? Am I the idiot for telling my stepdaughter to follow house rules and stop cooking at odd hours? I, 34-year-old male, and my wife, 40-year-old female, live with her two kids, 13-year-old male and 18-year-old female, and her daughter's boyfriend, who is also 18. My wife and I work from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and my stepson goes to school from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. He's on summer break now. I take turns cooking with my wife. One day I'll cook dinner, and the next day she'll cook, just to keep it balanced for both of us since we get pretty tired after work. We always make sure to have leftovers ready for lunch the next day so the kids can heat it up in the microwave and have something to eat when we're not home. On the weekends, I do yard work and wash the vehicle while my wife cleans the house. This has been working fine for us so far. Last week, I approached my stepdaughter and asked her if she could go easy on the cooking in the middle of the night because we're trying to make the food last. She seemed to have understood what I told her, but I noticed things didn't change, and she keeps cooking in the middle of the night and also during the day, even though we make sure to leave plenty of cooked food which everyone in the house eats. My wife agrees with me and told her if she gets hungry during the day or night, she can make herself a sandwich or have cereal if anything. It doesn't help that she doesn't wash any of the dishes after she cooks, so when we get home from work, we have to wash a bunch of plates, pots, and utensils on top of the ones used for the meals we already prepare for them. Today, my stepson got into an argument with his sister because he found her at 9 a.m. cooking the steaks for the family barbecue tomorrow. She was searing them on the stove, which caused a small grease fire on the burner. I don't know what the heck she did, which caused the smoke detector to go off. Apparently, her boyfriend was craving steaks, and they forgot they were supposed to be for the barbecue. Nobody believes that, since we were planning it for the past 3 days. I'm pretty upset that she cooks all the food at night or during the day, but at the same time, I don't like having to tell people they shouldn't eat when they're hungry. It doesn't feel morally right to say that. My wife said I wasn't being unreasonable, and she agrees that there should be rules when it comes to cooking and making the food last. She brought up a valid point when she mentioned that she and I are the only ones paying for all the house expenses as we're the only people working. I grew up borderline starving, and I always told myself I was never going to allow my family to go hungry. Am I the jerk? To add, typos and grammar. Now for an update. Some people are saying they smoke Zaza and get the munchies. Yes, they indeed smoke lots of Zaza. Between the two of them, they can clear 3 grams a day easily. This does explain the constant need for food. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. It's definitely reasonable to have rules about which food is planned and allocated to meals versus which food is available for use for someone who is hungry. If there's no explicit rule, then ask if there's a lot of it. That 50-pound bag of rice? Yes, you can use some. You've got a dozen cans of beans in the pantry? Use some. Eggs? Use some. Steaks in the fridge? Nope, there aren't many of them, and they have a short life, so they were likely bought for a specific purpose. Someone got something out of the freezer to defrost? Leave it alone. They're planning on cooking it. No cooking at night isn't necessarily reasonable, but it's certainly reasonable to expect her to clean up after herself. Not the idiot. Comment 2. Not the idiot. I would be clear with her that food in the house for meals has been planned ahead of time by the people who purchased it. If there is a question, she can ask if she can cook it, but other than that, she needs to stick to the already made food, snacks, sandwiches, etc. And if she wants to cook, she needs to ask permission or buy her own stuff. Also, cleanup is non-negotiable. If she doesn't clean up, she's not allowed to cook a big meal. Now, for the update. I'm back with another update about the cooking situation. It's been a little over a month since I last posted about it, and things have changed quite a bit. Not for the better, but I guess that was to be expected. So yeah, the stepdaughter is still cooking at odd hours, completely ignoring the leftovers we have available. It's like she has some kind of issue with food that was prepped when we were all awake. My wife and I finally decided we had enough and called a family meeting to discuss her late-night cooking habits. We explained to everyone how important food management is in a household that shares expenses, and also how it can affect the household when we have a teenage girl cooking at all hours of the night. The stepson chimed in and said he was sick of cleaning up the mess that was left after his sister's late-night cooking sessions. His complaints were valid. I can agree with that. The stepdaughter just rolled her eyes and said she was only trying to make something for herself to eat. Her boyfriend decided to jump in and say it was unfair to put restrictions on them, and that's when the argument escalated. The stepdaughter said I was being controlling. My wife had to step in and mediate because the situation was getting out of hand. She reminded everyone of the family rules we had established. The stepdaughter agreed to only cook during specific times, which was something we had already agreed on. You see, the problem was that she didn't stick to it. A week later, we had a small birthday dinner for my wife, and the stepdaughter and her boyfriend showed up late, smelling like smoke. I immediately noticed the kitchen was a mess again after they cooked something. So I confronted the stepdaughter and asked her why they smelled like smoke. She said it was from a burger they grilled outside. Yeah, right. I checked the grill, and it was still warm, which indicated they had used it recently. She got defensive and insisted it was just a burger for her boyfriend. My wife then suggested that they should have communicated about it, to which the stepdaughter rolled her eyes and stormed off, saying she was done with the rules. You could tell there was tension during the birthday dinner. It was so uncomfortable. The boyfriend tried to make light of the atmosphere with some jokes, but it fell flat. After dinner, my wife found the stepdaughter's phone left on the table. Out of curiosity, she checked it and saw a text conversation about their cooking habits. The boyfriend had texted her, saying they should keep cooking regardless of the rules. My wife confronted the stepdaughter about the texts later that night. The stepdaughter told her it was none of her business and that she could do what she wanted. I had to step in and remind her that we were all living together and that we needed to respect each other. She then shouted that no one understood her and left the house. The next day, she didn't come home until late, which made my wife and me a little concerned. My wife suggested we call her, but I refused, saying we should give her space. After a couple of days, she returned but seemed distant. My wife noticed that she had a new tattoo on her wrist, which we hadn't discussed. It was a tattoo of a flame, and when my wife asked her about its meaning, she said it represented her freedom and independence. We had made family dinner plans for the weekend, but the stepdaughter didn't attend. Her boyfriend texted me, saying they were busy with their own plans. Things are still pretty complicated, honestly. The tension around here is just so thick, I can almost cut it with a knife. The whole cooking and respecting household rules thing has really turned into a situation, and I can tell it's affecting my wife and me. I just want us all to get along and live in peace, you know? But with the stepdaughter being all rebellious and stuff, I'm not so sure that's going to happen anytime soon. I'll keep you guys updated if anything major happens, but for now, I think we're just stuck in this awkward phase. Edit. The stepdaughter has made comments about moving out with her boyfriend, and she has started spending more time away from home. Her boyfriend is also talking about a future with her. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.